I've started to put aside 2 hours a day from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock every night where my phone is out of my sights, right? Now, I put it down into the corner, I put it on charge, and I can actually not see my phone now. Now, I'm going through 7 stages of fucking grief here, and I'm not even going to call them out now on the fucking podcast here today. And you'd be fucking surprised how many different phases of this 7 stages of grief. And this is our fucking phones, man. It's ridiculous. I'm worried about myself. Peter. Okay, ladies and gents, welcome back. Today, I'm talking about fucking goddamn phone addiction. I suffer from this, and I'm telling you guys, here's a possible solution for any of you that have problems with your phone. You just can't put it down, okay? And Lord knows, hopefully I can help you guys. And you know, I'm telling you, I'm concerned about myself. And you know, sometimes actually, I love doing this podcast, but sometimes, like today now, I'm fucking concerned about myself. I genuinely am. Now, I'm working through this addiction I have with my phone. Seriously, I'm not fucking around here. I'm not fucking around. This thing is pissing me off. I feel like I can't put the goddamn thing down. And even when I put it down, I'm going through 7 stages of fucking grief. I even looked it up again, right? Like, you know, if you listen to me, you know that I love psychology and fascinated with it, love it. I'm going through stages of grief when I don't have my phone in my fucking hand. Now, okay, it's a lot easier for someone like me to get addicted to the phone or feel like you're missing out on something, right? Now, maybe it is complete addiction. And like I said, guys, we're going to go through it all today now and see if we can help you guys. And look, I'm going through the rough patch right now, but it is helping. And I think there will be light at the end of the tunnel for me. So maybe I'm getting all fucking, I'm just venting here, guys, alright? So bear with me. But, you know, I do a lot on my phone. I mean, without my phone, I'm fucked. I'm genuinely fucked. I do, as many of you know, I do a lot of social media posting every day. So I need that for that. I do another few companies as well. They're on my client list. I do their stuff on social media, so I need my phone again 5 days a week. I'm storing photos and videos into different albums on my phone. It's a fucking, I have to turn it into an almost science. I mean, it genuinely is. My phone is like an office with different compartments, your drawers, your cupboards, your this, your that, files over here, the accounts over in this file over here, and that pile, the logistics, whatever, handling, management of staff is over here. I mean, everything is, so for me, maybe it's different for me, but then again, I wouldn't be roaming around certain apps then that other people would. So we all have an addiction in some ways, I guess. And, you know, the apps I use, guys, right? And maybe you're having the same problem I have here. Jesus. Okay. The apps I use every single fucking day are, number 1, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, Twitter, hang on, is there anything else I'm missing out here? Jesus, I'm just make sure. I should know this, right? Oh, and LinkedIn. So I'm posting every single day on these apps. And then, of course, I do my podcast, which is through my computer desktop, and then I post up that way too. So there's a lot going on here. And of course, the WhatsApp, right? Now, funnily enough, I've noticed with myself is that I've replaced one app with a different app, okay? So in other words, maybe about a year ago, and maybe you can relate to this, maybe about a year ago, I would be on, let's say, TikTok more. I'd be scrolling through different videos more. But now, because I'm so fucking busy on TikTok and this one and that one and that, then I'm not on TikTok scrolling as much as I would have been. Or even WhatsApp. I wouldn't be on, like WhatsApp was a huge one for me there a few years ago. And I'm not on it as much because I'm just like, oh. So even though I'm addicted to it, I'm addicted to the apps that I'm using every day. Do you get me? So it's kind of like I've replaced fucking cocaine with heroin. I mean, you know, I'm so busy getting coked up over here that I've forgotten about heroin over there. You know? So it's so bizarre, guys. And, you know, I'm going to go through here certain few things that might actually surprise you. So what I've done, okay, let's get into it, right? How I have, what I've actually started to do is I said to myself, because I noticed, and guys, maybe you can relate to this, I've noticed that all of a sudden, right, my brain felt like mush, where I couldn't focus on anything, and anything I was focusing on, I had to put all my energy into my phone, or this or that, and I didn't have enough left in the tank after that. Like, I couldn't fucking add up 2 and 2 together for you. Seriously, like a brain fucked mush. It felt like this soft little half-torn, covered in muck sponge that was leaking water from it, and it was just hanging on for dear life. You know? And I went, I don't believe this. You see, and I think the thing is that a lot of us, we don't, how would I call it? We don't put enough weight behind, maybe, or we don't realize the addiction that we have with our phones. I think that's what it is, because, again, I think what it is a lot of us know, oh, for God's sake, do you see that couple now in the restaurant? They're on their fucking phone, man. Everybody's addicted. But it's almost like a acceptable addictiveness. Do you get what I mean? You know? It's kind of like all of us being on coke or heroin or crack, crystal meth, whatever. But everybody's using it, so hey, it doesn't matter. But it is a problem. It's an acceptable addiction. Which, to me, well, I wouldn't say it's more dangerous now than coke or heroin. Let's not get carried away here. But it can be dangerous because we're accepting that we're oh, well, look, you know, he's just addicted. Let it go. It's fine. But actually, we should do something about this. So, I mean, I was sitting at home trying to watch a bit of TV, putting my phone down. 5 seconds later, I've got my fucking phone in my hand and I'm scrolling. And I'm sure everybody can relate to this one. And you don't even realize. You're like, Jesus, Peter, put the fucking phone down. Gee, what's wrong with me? Fucking bullshit, you know? And you don't even watch, you're not even watching the fucking movie now. You're fucking around, looking at this, looking at that. You're swiping through Google News, headlines or whatever. Oh, and that's another one I use every now and then. Every now and then, when I'm not too tired, I scroll through Google headlines, right? And you see, the problem is that the algorithms on these apps, they know what we're interested in, so then they keep bringing us more. And make no mistake about it, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of fucking companies out there that are training us to get brainwashed with their fucking apps. That's their whole purpose behind it. So, what I've started to do, I've started to put aside 2 hours a day from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock every night where my phone is out of my sight, right? Now, I put it down into the corner, I put it on charge, and I can actually not see my phone now. Now, I'm going through 7 stages of fucking grief here, and I'm not even going to call them out now on the fucking podcast here today. And you'd be fucking surprised how many different phases of this 7 stages of grief. And this is our fucking phones, man. It's ridiculous. I'm worried about myself. Now, here's what I saw. Jesus. Okay. So I even said to myself, okay, Peter, we're going to do that now. And I think the key here is try not to put pressure on yourself. So, right, we'll do it 5 days a week, but at least that's 2 hours every night. Compounding that every single fucking night, 5 days a week, that's 10 hours where you're not on your phone in a week when you're awake, which is unbelievable, right? Unbelievable. And 6 to 8, first night, Now, I'm going to call out the 7 stages of grief here now. Bear with me, guys. The 7 stages are, number 1, shock and denial. Right? I put my phone away first night, put it over into the corner, put it on charge. I turned on a movie, right? And it was about 2 hours. Of course, typical. Here I go again, right? I'm like, okay, actually, if I put on a 2-hour movie, it'll probably finish at 8. So then that's when I know when to actually put my phone up again. I mean, Jesus Christ. I've even just put it down for 2 fucking seconds and I'm thinking about when I can take it back up again, right? But I went, okay, Peter, you fucking lunatic. Keep going. Just, okay, fine. Put on a 2-hour movie. So I put the movie on. Now the first stage is shock and denial. Now, I wouldn't say I had shock because it's a phone. But denial, yes. Like I was thinking, no, this is fine. I have no problem with this. This is going to be all good. And I kept saying this to myself, by the way, in the 2 hours. I kept saying this to myself, it'll be fine. And after the 2 hours, I'll feel fresher in my head. It's all going to be fine. But no, it wasn't. Now then, the next stage is pain and guilt. Now, I wouldn't say pain now, but guilt. And I actually fucking did have guilt. You know why? Because now I was thinking, all of a sudden now I was missing the fucking phone, right? And I felt I had to be on it. Now I was feeling guilty. I was creating fucking fantasy scenarios in my head, guys and girls. I went, oh, did I get back to that person actually now? I was creating fucking scenarios. And I think that's like a lot of stuff that you try and give up. Let's say like cigarettes or something like that. You create these problems subconsciously. And oh God, I should have done that. And then maybe you have a fight with somebody. So then you can go have a cigarette and it'll justify you having a cigarette, right? So therefore, I was trying to feel, oh God, I see now I'm feeling guilty now. And I did start feeling guilty. I went, fuck, I never came back to that person. Shit, they texted me yesterday. Bollocks. They're on a bit of a deadline. What am I going to do? But you see, here's the thing. I didn't have that feeling until I put the phone away. Right? So what does that tell you? You weren't in a rush to go back to them. You didn't feel fucking guilty to go back to them. It's all a bullshit thing that we create in our head. Now, I don't know, guys. Look, maybe I'm a complete fucking lunatic here, right? Where I'm going through 7 stages of fucking guilt or grief, right? And you don't. But, you know, I see a lot of people on their fucking phones every day. They don't talk to people. They don't socialize much anymore. And there's a lot of people addicted out there, like. But hopefully you guys aren't. And so I was feeling guilty about Peter. But the thing is, what I liked about it, I actually genuinely physically felt the guilt on it. Peter, you know what this is. And I went, oh, Jesus Christ. I was almost overwhelmed, guys, I have to say. I went, Jesus Christ, I physically feel guilty. It wasn't guilt. It was bullshit made up in my head. So I'd pick up my fucking phone because that's my routine. Now, the next stage of grief, anger and... Can you believe I'm talking this way? I'm talking about 7 stages of grief with my phone. The next one, anger and bargaining. Now, anger... I actually did get a bit pissed off at myself. I wouldn't say huge anger now, but I had anger. I was like, oh, fuck off, Peter. Would you stop, you dickhead? You know? It really pissed me off. And then bargaining. I was saying to myself, well, yes, this is what I'm going to do. If I'll pick up my phone at 8 o'clock or 8:01 and I will literally contact the person back, okay? But I'm going to give myself enough. And I was even bargaining with myself. Well, actually, Peter, you see, if you have your 2-hour break now, you'll be a lot fresher in your head. Therefore, when you do contact that person back, you might have thought of something that you wouldn't have thought about if you didn't have this break. So I'm bargaining with myself here. Now, depression. Yeah. Yep. I can't even believe I'm admitting this one. I can't even believe it, and it's really concerning me, guys. It's really concerning me. Like, I'm not a depressed type of guy. Now, okay, we're not on about massive physical depression where I want to kill myself. Nothing like that, of course not. But I didn't know what to do with myself. The world felt like it shut down on me, right? Now, I would say I hit that depression phase within about 40 minutes, right? Depression, total, there's nothing going on. It was like coming back from the greatest holiday you've ever had in your life to being locked up in a jail cell and nothing. Not a light on in the room. What's that, quarantine? Is it quarantine where you go into, in prison where you go into the dark room and there's just nothing, silence? It was eerie, very, very eerie. Then the next stage of grief is the upward turn. Now, yes, I actually did have an upward turn. After about, 40 minutes, I was a bit depressed. Then I would say about, at the hour and a half phase, I started to go, huh. And I think this was actually a bit of a freshness that just came back into me naturally, right? It wasn't a thought that I had. It wasn't this or that. It was just, freshness, okay. This isn't the worst. And then I said, well, then I actually had the upward turn because I said to myself, you know what? I'll actually probably feel better now when I have my phone back in my hand. And we're nearly there. I've only a half an hour to go. But come on, Peter, you keep going here, man. Just go through it. And then the next phase, reconstruction and working through. Like I just said, I was like, just keep going, man. We're nearly there. Half an hour to go. You're 75% in the bag. Job fucking done. Back at the net. Let's do this shit, baby. So now I was starting to get a bit fucking back to my normal self again, right? And acceptance and hope. That's the last stage of the grief. Now, I didn't get acceptance and hope, but I suppose maybe I'd had the acceptance because was getting my phone back. Now, I know, guys, maybe I'm being total drama queen here, but I'm telling you, I was going through some real fucking weird mental shit in me. And if you're very self-aware, maybe you'll actually fucking, observe yourself. That's what I would say, guys. Here's the solution I would give you. And we're going to close this podcast off now today. Here's a couple of things you can try. And by the way, I'm still practicing this, and I have to say, the results so far, I go through those kind of weird stages, right? And obviously no one's died now, alright? So let's not get too carried away. But I'm going through these fucking emotions as my phone is away. Now I'm kind of getting to the stage where I'm accepting it and, okay, Peter, we got a 2-hour downtime here. But at least you know you're coming back fresher. Do it for 2 hours in a day, 5 days a week. See how you get on. And here's what I would say as well. What you're going to probably find is that you'll start thinking of, like me, right? Oh God, I never told this person, that person. Number one, if anybody needs to get you in an emergency, I wouldn't turn your phone off. Leave it on. Because if somebody, God forbid, they need to call you, they can call you, right? And let's be honest, nobody calls you in a fucking an emergency by texting you, okay? They don't text you on WhatsApp or anywhere else, Facebook. They fucking call because it's an emergency, all right? So at least you have that, right? Also, you tell people that you're maybe in contact with every day, okay? Let's say, and by the way, if you're thinking, oh God, I want to make sure now that they know tell them that you have a certain time in the day where nope, listen, John, fuck off. I'm not talking to you between 3 and 4. And they're like, well, why? Tell them whatever you want, But tell them, listen, I am not available. This is where I take my break from my fucking phone and electronics and I have downtime, okay? If you want to call me, call me. If it's an emergency, call me. Unless it's that, well then, I'll speak to you at whatever time. And that will be it. So here's your game plan going forward, guys, I'd say, okay? If you're any way like me. Number 1, set out 2 hours in your day. And stick to those 2 hours, okay? So have a think about it, right? You know what I mean? There's no sense of doing it if you're on a shift from well, your shifts are different. Like maybe you're a night nurse, then you're a day nurse the week after, right? But at least then maybe split it up. Maybe it's a half an hour here, but at least I would commit that to the every single day now. Every single day. From 6 to fucking 8, or from 6 to half 6, then from 9 to half 9, I'm taking another break. Then from this to like, if you don't have a guaranteed half an hour in our day, guys, there's something fucking wrong here. There has to be a guaranteed certain part of a day that you will not work, whether you're a day or night nurse. Now, hey, if I'm wrong, well then I'm wrong. Okay? But there's got to be. Surely be to God, there's got to be. So go for that routine time. You have to get into a routine. So let's say you are going to do the 6 to 8 like I do. 6 to 8. Wi-Fi is turned off. Your 4G, 5G is turned off. You put the phone away, put on an alarm maybe. So then oh, it's 8 o'clock. Right, perfect. So then at least you don't have to be looking at your phone at the time. Put on the alarm, the buzzer goes off, Tell people as well you're doing it if you are in constant contact with them. Tell them you're not available from this time to this time. And it's rough, guys. It's rough for the first while. I'm telling you now, it is goddamn rough. But I'm starting... I suppose I'm just starting to get used to it. But I mean, it's really overwhelmed me in a way, guys. I have to say, it has really overwhelmed me. The effect my phone has had on me with my just brain fart. I mean, does it make sense? Yeah, I guess it does. You're staring at a fucking screen. It's not real life. Are we built like this? Like the cavemen, they weren't built like that. Our DNA and genes goes way back. So all of a sudden, we're not hunting anymore. We're not fucking out in the garden playing with a football, whatever, rugby ball, Anyway, guys, hopefully it helps you. I hope you don't think I'm a complete and utter fucking lunatic. Maybe you do already. Maybe even you think that before this podcast today. But anyway, guys, look, 2-hour break. Notify the people that you're in constant contact with. You're not available from these times. Tell them why if you want. Turn off the 4G. Turn off the fucking Wi-Fi. And even if you want to go a little bit more advanced, even if, like, let's say you go for walks during the day and you don't actually do anything, it's just a walk, you could even add a bit extra on. Turn off the Wi-Fi, turn off all internet on your phone on your walk, right? Even just that 5-minute break could do you the world of good. So guys, I hope that helps to anybody to some degree. You'd be amazed, you'd be goddamn amazed once you put it away and give it a few weeks. Give it a few weeks and you'll come back fresher. Thanks guys, talk to you later.
Peter
Walsh.